Hey, friends, welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Friends of the Squared Circle. I'm your host, Cranderq, a.k.a. my real name, the #1 beard in pro wrestling podcasting. Yep, Jrich is used to this. It's a self-proclaimed title, so no one can take it away from me. But before we jump in and have our discussion today, don't forget to like and follow our sister podcasts there. We have Wrestling with Pride with Jana Pride. Great show, great episodes, as well as Bell to Bell with Amanda Monroe, and she is out there pumping out episodes right now. So, Jrich is in studio here with us today. We are going to talk about our WCW Mount Rushmore, as well as don't forget our sponsors at Superior Creations. Get all your custom tumblers. That's right, we got to get Jrich one still. Or if we've already given him one, we'll talk about it later. Chef Keith Foods is coming back with his salsa. Again, folks, this isn't the real salsa. This is just a jar that I can promote because I ate all the salsa. I'm fat. I love salsa. Jrich knows that. And last but not least, I'm already getting hyped up with my Inside Out Nutrition tea. Oh, man. So Jrich is in for a ride. Don't forget Darren Corbin. That's right. He's always looking over us. Promote the Patreon, promote the cameos, as well as all social media by Darren Corbin. That's right. We're a sponsored podcast here at Friends of the Squared Circle. Good morning, Jrich. How are you doing today, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Recovering, I should say.
We've been cranking out podcasts, folks. We are tired. I'm drinking this tea to keep going. Jrich is probably like, how many more of these do we got to do, bro? But it's like we're just trying to build up that content for all of our friends out there.
Oh, yeah.
Jrich has been killing it doing some solo episodes because I've been lazy. I've been taking a lot of naps. I've been actually working hard on grooming this #1 beard. But let's just stop talking, Jrich. Let's dive into it. Mount Rushmore, that's usually a question that people ask all the time, So we're going to put a little fun spin on it. We'll just go with, you want to do fandom or do you want to do like for the company for our top 4 here for WCW?
I would say we probably have enough time here. We could probably do both.
Perfect. We make the rules up as we go. It's because Cranderq, the guy that writes this show, doesn't know what the hell he's doing. But let's keep it serious here. Let's talk about Impact players for WCW. We'll jump into the fandom next. Then we have a surprise little twist at the end for you folks. Spoiler, I'm not telling you. So I'll let you go first because you are the bald of the Beardiful show here that we have going here. Who would you say made an impact in WCW? Your top 4 for your Mount Rushmore here. Who would you put?
I would say this is not in any particular order.
Not particular. Okay. Just trying to keep up. These teams, I tell you, they get me excited.
Sorry.
No, I'm the one that's all jazzed up. I will apologize to you, sir. Go ahead.
All right. I would say Ric Flair.
Oh, okay. Solid.
Sting.
Oh, great choice. Great choice.
I would say Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of an underrated guy, I would say, but he was there pretty much the whole time. He was also the booker there for a little while, would be Kevin Sullivan.
Oh, that is a good wild card pick. Yes. R.I.P. Legion of Doom. Or not Legion of Doom. Dungeon of Doom. I'm sorry. These teas, Bobby Joe, had Inside Out Nutrition. You guys got to get them. They get me jazzed up. And like I said, Jrich is probably sick of me by now. But you know what? We're partners in crime. Yeah, that's a solid good 4. Kevin Sullivan, underrated for sure, like you said. The territory days, I know a little bit. We've talked that I'm not too deep into that history, but I mean, he was menacing. That cult, like, he didn't have all the face makeup. He just had enough to let you know, like, hey, I'm creepy. You're gonna listen to me. And he had a very good stable that doesn't get a lot of love. Our mutual friend, Uncle Clutch, love that faction and all the silliness that was with it. I love that he had Giant in there, back in that day. I was a Giant fan. I just thought he was so imposing and menacing. He's still on my bucket list of people to meet, but a very solid Mount Rushmore there. I'm going to agree with Sting for sure. From Surfer to Crow, just both iconic players in there. Hogan as well, so I will give you those two. But I'm going to throw Macho Man in there, just because it's that big name that came over, and a lot of excitement for Macho Man over there. I mean, from his battles with Ric Flair, his battles with Hogan, taking on the NWO, being in the Wolf Pack. I'll throw him in there, and I'm going to throw Booker T in there because he kind of towards the end was the guy they kind of went with. Stevie Ray got a little bit of a shine there too, but Booker T was kind of that last guy on the way out, which I'm sure, WWE saw and was like, yeah, we love what Booker's going to bring to us. So that would be my legit Mount Rushmore, as we said. And I am kind of biased because I loved Harlem Heat. I thought they were awesome with Sensational Sherry. She's just iconic herself. But yeah, that would be my four that I would say that had a pretty good impact on WCW when you remember it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And how about your fandom? Now let's go back and forth here on this one. And again, no particular order. We'll just do our top four. And then I'm going to put a little pebble there on the bottom of somebody that I want to add to that. Just because for funsies, we're going to have a little side trophy or side pebble down below our Mount Rushmore. But go ahead and lead us off with your first Mount Rushmore of fandom there in WCW.
I would say DDP.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, that was one of the guys I was going to pick probably, but now I'm going to switch it up because I got one extra one I can use. Perfect. DDP, man. Bang. How cool was that, man? Like, were you able to meet him at Grand Slam a couple years ago?
I wasn't.
Okay. I was able to go over and give him a sticker and shake his hand and say thanks for coming. Finally, when that line died down, because he had a line like that just curved around that gym, and he agreed to stay till everyone got what they needed, and that alone is a class act, especially when from our knowledge in the business, you only get these guys sometimes for a couple hours to do autographs, and they're like, well, spend 2 hours, I'm out, I've met my quota. He decided to stay till everybody was taken care of, matches were going on. He did his thing in the beginning, and he came back and finished that line and then headed out. So I have to give props to DDP just for that. But what he's done for the business. But go ahead there, sir.
Oh, you want me to go again?
Yeah, no. I want your reasoning more why I just jumped in there.
Oh, no. For me, DDP, he was the first people's champion, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he was there for a long time. He wasn't main card for a while. Not until NWO came around, but he had some great matches and with Johnny B. Bad and let's see, Eddie Guerrero. Him and Eddie Guerrero had a couple good matches. He always had stellar match. Macho Man, that feud with DDP was my favorite. Just because of the chemistry. And
that swerve where they give him the NWO shirt, that pop, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Iconic moment in WCW history. I mean, I always say, folks, goosebumps. I just remember that memory as a kid going, oh man, he's joining the NWO too? Okay. This is kind of when I got fizzled out with the NWO because there's so many people in there. And then when he turned and Diamond Cutter Hall and Nash just turns around like, what did you just do? Iconic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to lead off with a fun one because this is a guy that a lot of people do not like personally. And I'm going off character, folks, here. We're going to keep the political stuff out of it here. You probably think you know where I'm going with this and what I'm going to say, but I'm going to surprise you with this one, Jrich. But again, folks, keeping political things out of the way. We're just looking at character because this is fandom. This isn't a political podcast. Yes, we don't agree with things people say. but we're not going to put that in here because we don't want to dilute the fan perspective here. But you're going to laugh. Disco Inferno. I love this dude for some reason as a kid. I thought he was the cream of the crop. Didn't rise to the top, but I loved Disco Inferno. Don't ask me why. I thought he was cool. I wanted to meet him as I got into watching more wrestling back in 2008. Like, hey, I'm going to these indie shows with Bob, RIP Bob. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to meet this guy probably. And then I found out about him. But the character and the stupidity of Disco Inferno in WCW was one of my favorites as a kid.
Okay, that's...
And it was either people loved him or hated him, but a lot of people that came on these early episodes, which you can go back and watch on YouTube, we have a vault now of content, and we're going to have a vault of content with Jrich because I'm putting this bro to work. But, yeah, a lot of people liked him, but as a human, a lot of people don't, but I just thought he was kind of cool, coming out flashy, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I was a Disco fan.
Yeah, that's I can't say much more than...
I'm not afraid to admit that it's been on every podcast before this, probably. So,
all right.
And I can't even think of one legendary thing that man did. I can't think of anything
that he cruiserweight
contributed to the business. You know what I mean? Like I just thought he was cool. So
he was the cruiserweight champion.
Okay, I don't even know. I just liked him. You know what I mean? So I don't even know his accolades. That's how. I don't know. It's just a weird fandom that I had as a kid. So,
yeah, we all have our weirdos.
Yeah. How about your number 2 before we embarrass myself some more here?
I would just because I met him when I was a kid. Goldberg.
Okay, all right. That's another one that gets a lot of hate in the IWC, but for what he did in wrestling, we have to acknowledge how cool he was. You know what I mean? So
I mean that streak is just, obviously it's iconic.
Yep. And now everybody else tries to do it. We can't take that away from him. So.
Yep. And just some of the I love going back and watching some of the spears that he threw, because he went all out on them. And his match with, he's had some decent matches too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Brock if you think about it.
Yeah,
like he's not supposed to be this guy that has this moveset. He's in there and gets business done and gets it done. And then when they had him line up against Brock, they basically kept that formula, and people were pissed. It's like, what were you going to think? You're going to get an Eddie and Ray 5-star spectacular Dave Meltzer? No, you're going to get what the character does. And I was like, well, that was stupid. But then Bob broke it down for me because, Bob. It's like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, just like when Brock came in and destroyed Cena that one time. Like, those are the characters that sometimes are needed. Yeah, you didn't get to go home happy that night, but it sure did make him a hell of a heel. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So. Any other fond memories of Goldberg that you had as a kid or anything, I
mean, just meeting him, he was super nice. He was a super nice guy.
Especially as a kid, you had to be through the moon, just.
Yeah. It was cool.
Also, his action figures were pretty badass when they came out for WCW. I think those were some of the first with articulation and, being able to do his big boot and then be able to make him do the spear was pretty badass too. I remember a friend of mine had that. I was like, that's a great action figure, so.
Yeah. So I just liked watching him destroy people.
With that. I'm not going to judge it. I had Disco coming out of the box number 1. So
yeah.
I don't even own a Disco figure. I don't own a Disco autograph. I have no Disco merch. I just liked him. But this next guy that I have is equally as weird. And I do have a few things by him. This one, I'm not as, a lot of people actually probably did like him. So I'm going to go Glacier because he captivated me. I mean, that entrance was cool. Kind of seeing him get a little bit of a revival now with some of the, loot crates that they're putting out. A guy that we both know, heavy on wrestling's owner, Dave Sabick, used to do online auctions during the pandemic. I would tune in, and he put up a Glacier picture, and I said $25. And everybody's like, wow, you overpaid for that. You can have it. I'm like, I don't care. I have adult money. It's the pandemic. I'm buying it. So I have a nice, beautiful blue 8x10, which I'm sure came out of a loot crate or he got in, a package. Like, I'll throw this in if you buy the good autographs. I love it. It's one of my favorite autographs. Glacier, cool of cool when I was a kid. And I just kind of wish there was more stuff out there that I could get. A friend of mine, Corey, gave me some stuff of his and stuff. So, like, I love Glacier. I always thought he was just a badass. Mortal Kombat was out during that day, Street Fighter. So Glacier is my number 2 for my fandom of WCW.
It's pretty. I mean, he was, like you said, the entrance was cool.
Yeah. And again, I can't think of an iconic match. I can't think of any accolades, folks. I just thought he was pretty badass with his snow entrance, the Mortal Kombat-esque, with him and Mortis. I mean, how cool was that? Just on paper or video games, or if the action figures would be what they are today, how cool his action figures would be.
Yeah,
I know he's done a couple things with Ring of Honor and AEW and stuff. So, hey, MAW, we did Grand Slam for you. Throw us a bone and bring in Glacier and Disco Inferno for your boy Cranderq. And Goldberg for Jrich again, because he wants to meet him as an adult.
I mean,
do it.
Yeah, I would
do it. If you guys support this podcast, watch this thing a million times so we get that big kid money, and then we'll bring them in under the.
We'll bring all the
Yeah, we'll bring all 3 of them. We'll get a limo, or we can just ask our sponsors too to help out with that big kid money, because Jrich is driving the limo because I can't back up and I get the lawnmower stuck at work all the time. Anyways, number 3 for you, Jrich. Who are you pulling in?
Number 3. Ooh. I would have to say Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, good pick. Solid pick.
Yeah, he wasn't there. I mean, he wasn't there too long, but just the matches that he had. I mean, obviously everybody knows the Halloween.
Too, yeah.
Huh?
Like when they were at their peak with the Monday Night Wars, he was featured pretty well. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, for the most part.
And the LWO.
Yes. Which
the
is
original
back.
LWO.
It was back for a while there. Yep. Man.
And then just kind of like everything that, everything that in that package, like his heel work was really good. When he eventually did turn heel.
I just wish he was here for Dom.
Yeah.
Because even if he wasn't wrestling, he would be out there ringside. Dom's getting better with the talking and being, well, he doesn't get to talk because they boo him all the time, but could you imagine Eddie just out there causing chaos, especially with that Ray and Dom feud there for a while? Oh my gosh. And I love that Dom plays into it like, that's not my real dad. Eddie's my dad, and it's awesome. Like it's like he's helping keeping that for the younger fans to look into. Now I know Chavo has said his things, but I think it's great that he just kind of keeps talking about Eddie and modeling Eddie so that people like us who know it get that little bit of connection with Dom, as well as fans that are coming up into it like, who's this Eddie guy? Like, let me go back and watch, and then they're going to have their minds blown and then just be like, damn, they got Eddie Guerrero back in the day. So, yeah, I love Eddie. Just gone way too soon, but he got his accolades. I was so glad that he got those championships towards the end. Definitely well deserved for that man.
Oh yeah.
That one hurts. That and Dusty hurt. I don't get too big into celebrity passings because it's like I didn't really know them, but those are my childhoods. But for my number 3, you took Eddie, so I'm just trying to kind of keep it a little different so we don't have the same here too much. But I know I already said it earlier. I'm going to throw him in there because I just thought he was awesome. The Giant, coming in, beating Hogan right away. Claiming he was Andre the Giant's son. I just thought he was so badass. And he was doing a lot of big moves back then, and they had to let him know, like, hey, man, you're a giant. You're not going off the top rope. We don't want you doing drop kicks. But I liked him. I enjoyed him as the Big Show as well. Maybe not that early run as the Big Show when he was trying to figure out who he was, but when he became bald, Big Show with the beard and the Fu Manchu, I liked his body of work because he was just huge. I always loved him when I was a kid. So, and again, I've said it 1,000 times on here. My first email I ever had was his real name, Paul White 1000, because our teacher said that we don't want people finding out who you are on the internet. Use a fake name, and I used his real name. And I can't wait to tell him that because he's probably going to be like, what? Cool story, bro. And I'm just gonna be like, but yeah, I'm gonna put the Giant in my fandom of WCW back in the day.
Okay. We are on number 4. All right, this might get a lot of hate, and that's okay. I'm gonna go with Jeff Jarrett.
I love Jarrett.
Okay, well you do, but not a lot of other people do.
Another iconic guy with action figures when we were kids. I mean, that guitar was awesome. So yeah.
But I would say he kept the later part of WCW a little more alive.
Mm-hmm. Mind for the business as well.
Yep, very good mind for the business. Obviously, he went on to do the TNA thing. But yeah, the slap nuts. That.
You sent me the Beetlejuice thing, right? You sent me that recently again?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Poor Beetlejuice.
Yeah, the Beetlejuice guitar shot was...
I thought that dude was dead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make fun of him, but I thought he was dead a long time ago. Apparently, he's still living. But, man, that dude... Oh, boy. Yeah, Jeff Jarrett. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. That was the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He didn't know, like, he said he didn't know Howard Stern. He didn't know any of the characters on there.
Okay.
And then he just ad-libbed that. But, yeah, like, calling Mean Gene a slap nuts every week was...
Yep.
Or slappy.
Yep.
But his matches, like, with Booker T, their feud was really good.
Yep.
He kept it alive for a lot of times. Obviously he was there early part of 97, a little bit. Did that whole run with the 4 horsemen. Is he a horseman? Is he not a horseman? Jeff Jarrett says he's a horseman because Ric Flair allowed it, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, like, he was a world champion there. He was a U.S. champion there.
Yep. Super great dude.
Yeah.
I met him. I've told that story before. We're not going to get into it again, but like super nice and super cool. I just, one thing I'm sure people do is how they watch when they interact as they're in line, and just watching him taking those extra couple seconds there, with people is pretty cool. And for me, it was a childhood, like, hell yeah. Like, I'm excited to meet this man, because he was part of my childhood. Like, I watched WCW more than I watched WWE. And I just thought he was cool. And then now, like, I think I said in a couple podcasts before you joined on, like, how I love how he's getting his shine again, just for a little bit. Hopefully he gets that same treatment where he gets some more merch out there, more action figures for like the younger generation can go back and look. Just ignore his gear, folks. Just ignore that WWF gear. Just enjoy his matches because he has a banger with Xbox. Xbox. That's an Xbox. I own an Xbox. X-Pac. I don't remember the pay-per-view. I just threw it on one night and I just watched him and X-Pac have a clinic. And it's just like two great young workers out there killing it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Yeah.
He does. He also, I mean, a lot of people are going to say because he owned the company, but he was a pretty good NWA champion as well.
And I mean, sometimes like, you know, that has to be the case because he was probably that prominent name at that time in there. You know what I mean? Like, we can't discredit him for, you know, with TNA. Like, I'm kind of the bigger star right now. Yeah, he brought in other people, but they weren't reliable. I'm sorry. Like, yes, Scott Hall was in TNA. Hogan was in TNA, but they weren't reliable. Steiner, you know, how reliable was he towards the end there, you know, because of egos and things, you know? So, you know, Jeff loves the business. He's not out just to get that paycheck, folks. But yeah, I love Jeff Jarrett. That is a great pick. That is a solid 4. My final one, going off of fandom, you know, I'm going to have to steal it and just put Eddie in there because I can't think of another guy that captivated me so much as a fan. Like, I loved Eddie, you know. I can't think of anybody else that I was a huge fan of during that time. And when he went to WCW or WWE and, you know, WCW was folding, I thought that was so cool seeing him, Dean Malenko, and those guys over there because, you know, it was just before the whole one company, and just to see guys jumping ship in real time, then it was kind of cool because before I didn't put 2 and 2 together that Bubba Rogers was the big boss man. I didn't put, you know, 2 and 2 together that the Zodiac was Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You know what I mean? I didn't put the, you know, pieces together until I got a little bit older and we realized, oh, okay, those guys are there. And we got a horrible Canadian hacksaw Jim Duggan in WCW. But
I should have asked him about that last Saturday.
Oh, do you still love Canada? You know, but I always joke, like, why did we hate Canada in the 90s? You know, so. But do you have an honorable mention, Pebble, that you want to throw in there? Or do you want me to take the floor on this one?
This is going to be a funny one. Just because I used to do his dance as a kid. Alex Wright.
That's a solid pick. That's one of Darren Corbin's favorite wrestlers back in the day, by the way, our sponsor and friend here. He loved Alex Wright. And I remember having the Alex Wright Matchbox cart back in the day. So
yeah, I mean, he had some great matches. But
yeah,
I used to do his dance as a kid.
And I think he got chased out of the business, unfortunately, you know, so.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. And for my little Pebble here, folks, I got to put him in. He's not really a worker, but I gotta throw him in there. Eric Bischoff, because, you know, he was cool. You know, he had the leather jacket. He was, you know, the NWO guy, you know, supposedly pulling the strings, but we all know who was pulling the strings behind the stage. But, you know, I got to put Eric Bischoff in there because I always loved his character. Just being so smug, so cool, jet black hair. And then when he went to WWE too, I just thought his manager role with him in Austin was fun. Got to meet him, super nice guy, cocky, you know. I don't agree with a lot of the shit that he says out there, but I always just liked his character. I like the character of Eric Bischoff on TV, just being a menace, you know. Especially that early NWO days when I was a huge fan of the black and white NWO.
Yeah, I would say with Eric Bischoff, without him, we wouldn't have the Monday Night Wars.
Exactly. Yep.
We wouldn't have all this cool, like, memorabilia from WCW that we do have, all the fun stuff, you know.
Yep. And like he says on the cover of his book, because I am a huge fan of books, if you've watched this a while, folks, controversy creates cash, you know, and he was doing anything he could do to poke at Vince, and I thought it was amazing. You know, as a kid, I just thought it was cool, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm really weird, but when he had the shaved head, I thought he was a total badass. I don't know why, he just looked tough like a gangster, you know. So, but yeah, I'm not going to get into his horrible kickboxing matches, things that he did and stuff like that, because we don't need to remember that horrible stuff. But I always liked Eric Bischoff. I just thought he was super cool character wise. That's my little nugget. We got to give him a little love. He can be a little pebble on the bottom for my fandom. So, but we're going to switch gears here before we wrap it up. We're just going to throw out, let's just say, 4 names who we think in today's era that could be in WCW back in the day. With the Attitude Era type stuff. Jrich, I'm going to have you start like always here. Just ramble off your 4, and then I'll throw my 4 in it, and then we'll kind of wrap this bad boy up.
Sounds good. I would say, well, I would go. I think Seth Rollins would fit really well.
Oh, okay, good pick. I like that.
And just he would fit in the WCW mold. More than the Attitude Era mold, I would say.
Okay.
They might put him as a cruiserweight, which would be but
hopefully they give him the, you know, like the work your way up status. Okay.
Yeah. Top 4. Roman Reigns. They could fit him anywhere. He'd be that kind of Goldberg-esque.
Yep. Imagine that face-off back in the 90s.
Oh, Goldberg at his peak, Roman Reigns at his peak. Yeah.
Buds in seats, yep.
Yeah. Throw this one in there. Because WCW at the time had a women's division, I'm going to throw female out there. I would have loved to seen how Rhea Ripley would do.
Okay.
In that, like with Luna Vachon there, they had Medusa there.
Don't forget that 90s grunge. You know, that would have been, you know, that emo and grunge kind of thing. You got a great angle going into that. Yep.
Yep. And then the other one, this is harder than it looks. LA Knight.
Okay, yep. Good hype man. Yep. He would definitely be, you know, the guy taking shots like, oh, that WWE sucks. Yeah. You know, I'm not a big fan of LA Knight, but yeah, I could see him being, you know, the little pot stirrer on the TV there for those Monday Night Wars. Yep. I like that.
I could see him being a member of the NWO for sure.
Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Someone that can actually talk besides Hogan.
Yeah.
Not to discredit Nash or Hall, but like they're just, you know, they weren't the best promo guys back then. I think outside interference and egos and had a little bit to do with that, to be honest. But
oh yeah,
you know. So for mine, the only reason like I'm gonna probably shock some people would be I would move a Darby Allin over there because we know what he does. I think if he could link up with Crow Sting a little bit sooner would become fun. You know, to watch those guys progress and have some more craziness there. I know it gets a lot of dislike, but I think it's kind of a cool pairing. You got old school and new school. You know what I mean? Another guy I would put over there would be probably just lost. Oh, there it is. Braun Breaker. You know, another Steiner. That could be like the family. You know, obviously, I don't know how it would work, but you know what I mean? Just to have that character of Braun Breaker there and not mention that he was a Steiner. You know, it had to be that way. But like, just him with Scott and Rick would be kind of cool. You know, in that heyday. You mentioned a woman, so I'm going to throw one in there to help compete with Rhea Ripley. And WCW did this a lot more than WWE back in the day. I'm going to throw Io over there because I think she's phenomenal. And just the chemistry they have. Now, I would have picked an Asuka because I'm a huge Asuka fan, but I feel like we want to have some great bangers and matches there. So that chemistry with her and Io, I think, just outshines my fandom a little bit here. I'll put that over there. That'd be, I think, it'd be a pretty good, you know, dust up over there. And for 4, the last one, Swerve Strickland. I'm going to throw him in there. I think he has that attitude of, hey, I'm here to work. I'm here to take titles. You know, and some of those cruiserweights back in the day, he could mix it up with an Eddie, a Ray, a Chris Jericho, Dean Malenko, and then we throw him in with a Hall, a Nash, going to toe with the NWO, teaming up with Booker, you know. And I, you know, it's stupid, but it just came into my head, and I'm going to say it. Rap is crap. Imagine him just, you know, dusting up with good old Kurt Hennig back in the day for funsies, you know, like, what you say, Kurt? You know, yeah, I would put Swerve Strickland over there too. He would fit in any generation. He doesn't get enough love from the IWC unless you are an AEW fan, but Swerve Strickland definitely could fit into 90s, 2000s, 2010s, all the way up to now. I don't know how you do in like the 80s and stuff because, you know, those are more those like crazy gimmicks. I want to sell action figure characters. His body of work would be great.
Yeah.
But I feel like the 90s, you know, with the Bret Harts, the Shawn Michaels, early Undertaker and stuff. Yeah, he'd have a lot of great he's just going to have great matches from then to now, you know. So, but that would wrap out my top 4. Definitely Swerve Strickland. So many opportunities for him in WCW, I think, with just the talent they had there. And he would elevate a lot of those, you know, big guys for sure. So,
and if we were going through every company, I would have said Jon Moxley, but
yeah, throw him in there. What? Fuck it. Like, that's a big one, but I mean, this is our fan, and we can talk about. Yeah, Mox would totally kill it over there. And I'm wearing a shirt today, Tosama Champa. You know, like, and you know,
there's a lot of guys.
Whole episode of rebooking Yester Stars to WCW. You know, that'd be fun. Just bring down. All right, we're gonna get rid of Hogan. We're gonna bring in Mox. We're gonna get rid of Nash and Hall, and we're gonna bring in these guys. You know. But we gotta definitely do what we did today with the Attitude Era and jump the fence over to WWE for sure. But anything you want to say before we wrap up this episode? Jrich.
I think it was fun going back to WCW.
Yep.
It was my it was a company that I grew up. So
yeah,
it's hard to pick. It's hard to pick. Like, I mean, because another one we skipped over was Scott Steiner back, you know, when he turned to Big Papa Pump. Even the Steiner brothers as a tag team.
Talk about a glow up, yeah, both of them, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then they, you know, had that machismo cool Steiner doing the Big Papa Pump. You know, Rick just having that a bit of a die in there, kind of gave them a little bit more attitude. As well as Shinsuke Nakamura, another guy that could have been great back there with that partnership of WCW working with, you know, the Japan and the Chinese athletes. I mean, shit, you could even bring over dang it,
Shinsuke versus in his prime Great Muta.
Yeah,
would have been so good.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of fun stuff there. But yeah, I just dropped what I was going to say there, so we're just going to move on. But Alrighty, well, let's just plug these sponsors one more time here, as well as our sister shows, Wrestling with Pride. Check them out on Facebook and YouTube. You'll see them all over our page as well. We love our favorite green-haired ref, Jana Pride. 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? Let's jump over to Bell with Amanda Monroe, cranking out the female version of Friends of the Squared Circle-esque, where she's diving into that female fandom more than us guys will. Okay, folks? She's going to get a deeper dive into that, as well as Wrestling with Pride. As you can see there, it will be diving into the LGBTQ community on their stories and experiences in wrestling. And, of course, us, Jrich and Cranderq here, the Bald and the Beardiful. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube. We are taking over the wrestling podcast scene in the Friends of the Squared Circle network, as well as me having the #1 beard in pro wrestling podcast software plenty titles, so Jrich cannot take it away from me. Also, he's got the shades on. He's got the shades on, folks. His future's so bright, hanging out with me. Just kidding. He's just doing that so he doesn't have to look at this beard. Again, shout out to Darren Corbin, everything he does for us here at Friends of the Squared Circle. Follow him on all social medias at Darren Corbin. Get a cameo. My birthday's coming up. You can get me one, as well as you can get his awesome exclusive Patreon content, extra stuff there, as well as Inside Out Nutrition, who, make sure I am ramped and ready to go for these podcasts whatever. I got to get better at these things, as well as Superior Creations here for custom tumblers. And last but not least, our friend Chef Keith Foods, who is coming back after some stuff last year, but we are excited to get some salsa so I can eat my chips and salsa. It's your boy, Cranderq. Cranderq out. Jrich.
And that's your boy, Jrich, saying so long, everybody.
He's got his outro, folks. Tune in next time. It's going to be even more fun. All right, where's the button, Jrich? I never know where the damn button is. There it is.